Hi guys, welcome back to the artoftrading.net. This is Trader Stewie. I wanted to do a video for you here real quick about a trade that we did this week here at the Art of Trading. I just wanted to just cover just a new trade. It's not really a new trade. It's just this technique, this pattern has been around for a long time. The technique to trade it has been around for a very long time as well. It's just that recently in the market, it's something that I've been noticing more and more lately, and I just want to do a video and just kind of help explain what I saw in this trade, and just kind of walk you through it, step by step, and just hopefully maybe you'll be able to spot it, or spot similar patterns like this on your own. So here we go. This is a trade that we did this week in CTRP, which is a Chinese stock. It's as many people know, a lot of the Chinese stocks, they move very fast. Known as momentum trades, momentum stocks. Every now and then, they come to life, and they explode. They short squeeze. They move 15, 20, 30% in a week. So it's nice when you're able to catch these as they start to turn. And so here we go. Let's get started, guys. So this stock, I always watch it. It's always on my radar. It's I don't always trade it, but I always watch it. So because every now and then it does set up for some good trading. So basically, what caught this one, on what made this one, popped onto my screens, is what it did here on this day over here, on this week over here, more precisely, is the action that it did over here on this week. The second week of January. As the stock, started to form sort of a bottoming pattern over here. You see how it just kind of like it started doing like like a rounded bottom, sort of like a U shaped, a flat U shape right here, a rounded bottom. And you can see how here it tried to break down here below these lows. Check this out right here. As you can see here, it tried to break down below 22. You can see how 22 was support here for a while, for a few days, few weeks even. And you can see here it tried to break down below it and then quickly recovered. So that right there should have been your first sign that, hey, the sellers, they're not as aggressive as they used to be over here. You can see how here, the sellers were pretty aggressive. As the stock came down and broke support here, it kept going down. So here there was hints of a bottom right here, and this, to me, this candle over here where it broke below and then quickly tucked back above support, that told me that maybe the sellers are not as strong as they used to be. So this might be a time to be watching this. So I was watching it at this point, but nothing that says, hey, we need to buy this. It's way too soon. So basically what I was wanting to see is high volume up days at this point, and that's exactly what we got over here. So you can see here, the next few days it started to move up on very high volume, and you can see here the green volume bars. So it's showing that, hey, maybe if not real buyers, at least people who were short in high quantities are now starting to second guess this position, and maybe they're covering, maybe new buyers, maybe a combination of the both of two things. So this was a good indication that, hey, the stock could be indeed bottoming here. So definitely that's when I started watching it a lot more closely. So as you can see here, if you connect some highs from back in November, December, early part of January, you can see how you had three highs, one, two, three highs right here. So you had this descending line here. So you had hints of a bottom, and you had this descending line where the stock struggled, to break above for a while, and then all of a sudden right here, guys, look, it just broke through it. Boom, right here. It just cracked through resistance, and then the stock exploded on very high volume. So this was the candle that kind of broke it loose right here. As you can see, it wasn't a great close on this day because it opened, it shot up, and it quickly came crashing down. So that right away, it wasn't a great candle, but it still closed higher on the day. So it's still considered a breakout. So at this point, what I was looking for the next few days is a breakout retest. Now, what does that mean? So basically here we had a breakout on this day. We had a breakout over this descending line on huge volume. Make sure, guys, when you're watching when you're watching breakouts, volume has to be huge. It has to be big. It has to be 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times average normal volume. As you can see here, normal volume lately has been very, quite low, and you can see here on the breakout days here, the volume really picked up on the upside. So this was very encouraging to see. And not only that, what you want to see, more importantly, not just high volume on the breakouts, but if you're looking for a retest, you want to see very low volume on the retest. You want to see, sellers not aggressive selling on down days. And that's exactly what we got here. We got here a very, very low volume, a very, very low volume pullback to retest support. And you can see here support not only in the form of this descending line where it touched here. You can see here around this 24-ish area right here, 24, 2350, 24 area right here. It was not just the descending line that it was retesting, but look at this red line here, guys. This is the 20-day moving average, and you can see how it's starting to flatten after coming down for many, many months. Now it's starting to flatten and slightly even curl back up a little bit. So you can see that as the stock started to bottom, the 20-day moving average started to flatten. So that tells you a possible change in character, a possible bottoming formation taking place here as this is starting to flatten out. And not only that, you're retesting the broken trend line. You're retesting it right now on this candle. Very low volume here, 20-day moving average. So now you have a confluence of support. This is a very strong area of support here. So if you buy here and it breaks below, then you probably want to be out, because that's where the real aggressive sellers are going to come in once the strong area of support has been taken out. So you definitely don't want to see that if you are long, or if you want to enter long into the stock here. So let's zoom into the 5-minute chart and tell you exactly what we saw. So that was the daily chart here. That was the daily chart. And then now let's go in and take a look at what we saw on the 5-minute chart and why we entered the trade. So as you can see here, as the stock on this day right here, actually the following day, which would be right here. See, this is another way to view it right here, guys. So this was on this red day is where the stock caught our attention. However, it wasn't until the next day that we placed the trade in it. So as you can see here, the stock was, playing around and flirting with that 24, that 2350 area. That was where most of the support zone was. And you can see here, actually, the very next day, it actually broke here on this. This is the 5-minute chart. You can see how it tried to break down through support right here at 2350 and then quickly regained it. So that to me was definitely something to watch out for, because anytime a stock breaks through support and doesn't follow through, that tells you that, hey, the bears are not as aggressive as they should be, and therefore we could be looking at a reversal now. So that's exactly what we got in this name. So you can see here it quickly broke through support and then quickly came back up. So on the daily chart, it would be this candle over here. See that right here? It broke through support right here on this wick right here, and it quickly recovered it. Back to the 5-minute chart. So you can see here, so this is what we were looking at right here, guys. Check this out. A beautiful resistance area at 24 on the 5-minute chart. You can see here it struggled at 24, numerous times around the 24, 2407, 2408. Just the high 24 area was a big issue for the stock. And you can see here, the minute the stock reversed off these lows, it had a false breakdown and then came back up. So that tells you that we need to be paying attention to the stock as it recovers here, and then you can see here it started to digest in this super narrow range here. Look at this, guys, super narrow range. Now we entered the stock around this 24 area right here, 24, 2401, 2395. This was where the majority of the subscribers were starting to buy in around the 24 to 23.95 area right here. Now we entered this spot here because I started to notice a sort of a bull flag starting to form here. Just a narrow consolidation. And as the stock kept narrowing, digesting like that, I know a lot of people got bored waiting for it, but to me, I really saw nothing wrong in this because it was still digesting. And if anything, this actually made me like the setup even more because not only did it test 24, which was resistance, it didn't come crashing down. If the stock came crashing down, I would start to get a little bit worried and start to second guess this position. But the fact that it started moving sideways and consolidating, and the candles got smaller and smaller and smaller, and the ranges got even smaller, and the trading range got even tighter and tighter, that told me that a big move was coming. And not only that, guys, pay attention to this blue line right here, which is the 20 period moving average on the 5-minute chart. A 20 period moving average where the price stays above it, where the price stubbornly stays above it, that tells you that this is still a very bullish setup here. So there's really no reason to panic or to sell it or to be eager to second guess the position, because so far it's doing everything right. It made a reversal off the lows. It came back up nicely. Look at the volume here, big volume. So as you can see, buyers came in, short people started, anybody who was short started to cover, and you can see the stock moved sideways, narrow range, and look at the volume, huge drop off in volume as the stock kept moving sideways. So that told me if the stock can somehow manage to break over 24, 24.10, the stock could really run. So I felt very confident in this one. So we entered here on the 24 area. We put a stop loss, below these lows here. So we gave it a little bit of room, simply because the stock is very volatile. So you don't want to be shaken out by a crazy drop here and then a quick recovery. I really don't like. I really wouldn't like to be. I wouldn't have liked to be shaken out, on such a bullish setup like this, by having a too tight of a stop. Even though in this case a tight stop would have worked, but I just didn't want to risk it. So anyway, so back you can see here it quickly started to break out through 24. So right away, that's when we knew that, hey, something's about to happen here. The stock is very highly shorted as well. Lots of shorts in this name. So as soon as it started to move, it quickly broke over 24, came back, retested 24 again. But you can see here, guys, it still held the 20 period moving average. The whole time it stayed above it. Not even once did it break below it. So to me, this was all bullish. No reason to try to scalp it quickly, and just respect the trend, respect the fact that it's obeying the trend, it's staying above the support levels, it's moving up, in so far organized fashion, in a constructive fashion. It's moving up on high volume, and it's moving down on very low volume. So this is perfect. This is exactly what you want to see, whether you're trading a daily chart. Look at these big up days on a huge volume and the down days on low volume, or whether you're trading the 5-minute chart. You want to see big volume on the up candles and small volume on the low candles, on the down candles. And you can see how, guys, here, as soon as it broke this 24 20 24 20 area, that's when the stock really started to run. So that was beautiful. So as it kept running higher, we kept raising stops. So we stayed in the trade. I decided, so this was the January 18th. The stock went, my target was 25. We entered at 24. My target was 25. So, it hit 24.94 on this day. So that was close enough. Some people sold it, as it got closer to 25. I decided I wanted to swing it. I wanted to swing trade this one. So we kept it. I personally decided to sell half a position here at 24.50. So we locked in 50 cents on 50% of the shares. Decided to hold the other 50% of the shares. And as you can see here, guys, the next day the stock gapped up and then made a huge run. I personally sold it at the open around 25, the 25 area, so locked in about $1, of gains here. A lot of members actually kept holding this one. They liked it. They just kept raising the stops. And as you can see here, buying at 24 on a retest, and as the stock kept running higher, a lot of people decided to hold it. Some were even selling at 27, 27.50. The stock made a huge run. So that was a sweet trade. And so this is exactly how we decided to play it, on a break out and retest. So I hope this video helps, guys, and we'll promise we'll do more videos in the future. All right, good luck.